The Collings Foundation is really pleased to announce we're now able to take people for a historic flight in both the F-4 Phantom and the A-4 Skyhawk. For the last 21 years, we've been sharing a B-17, B-24, B-25, and now P-51 with the public to honor the World War II veterans, and now we're pleased we can do the same with the F-4 and A-4, share them with the public at air shows like Oshkosh, and also take them for a flight to experience what it's like to be in an F-4 Phantom with its 136,000 horsepower and experience what it was for those guys that were flying over Vietnam. It was quite an extensive process working with the FAA, coming up with training programs. First, we were able to do flight training for pilots in the aircraft, and we continue to do that today, all the way up through type ratings in both the F-4 and the A-4, and now we're able to take non-pilots. So it's quite an intensive course. It's not like going for a ride on a B-17 that we're used to doing, and it is very interesting for the students who are going through this, for the participants, because it's much more immersive than just a ride. Well, right now we have quite a backlog for people to go for a flight. There's a lot of interest in these aircraft, in the history. It certainly is one of the most iconic aircraft of all time and the most famous aircraft from the Vietnam War. And folks will be able to come down to Houston, Texas and fly out of Ellington Field, where we have the egress trainers, the cockpit simulators, go through the program, and of course the culmination is what everyone's there for, is the flight in the F-4 Phantom, where we take it out over the Gulf of Mexico, and you can really experience what it was like to be in it. The G's, the acceleration. The F-4 Phantom's a $12,500 flight, and the A-4 Skyhawk is $7,800 for the two-day course. We also have a great DVD if you're interested in it, which we can send out so you can see more of what the program is like and what the aircraft are like when they're flying. Truly remarkable. You don't have to go to Moscow to fly in a MiG, which is even more expensive. You can fly in good old American iron over here. We have the F-4 Phantom and the A-4 Skyhawk that have been up here all weekend performing in the air show. United Bank Card was gracious enough to sponsor the aircraft coming up, and it's been quite a hit. Everyone really loved it. It's probably the first time since I can't remember where an F-4 and two A-4s were in formation together. So it was a real historic moment for the crowd. The Collings Foundation was started in 1979 to preserve living history events. Since 1989, we've had the Wings of Freedom Tour with the B-24 Liberator, B-17 Flying Fortress, more recently a P-51, soon to be adding an Me-262 to the tour, bringing them around to the public. And you can come out and fly on board the aircraft, see them fly, smell what they're like, and meet some of the veterans who made the history in the aircraft. By taking it around to 109 locations annually, as the Wings of Freedom Tour does, millions of people get the opportunity to come out and see the aircraft that otherwise never would have the chance to.
Aero-TV is brought to you by...
The beauty of the Release 9 system architecture is that you have two fully redundant integrated flight displays. Each has access to all the systems and data. Providing full redundancy and eliminating traditional reversionary modes, Release 9 allows either display to be configured as the PFD. Now your failure modes are much more manageable because you can continue to fly with the same familiar display symbology without the need to relearn composite modes you don't typically fly with. Avidyne's Integra Release 9 is truly the next generation in fully integrated flight deck technology.